Welcome to my channel. Today we continue our discussion on how to grow your school's population. In part 1 and 2 of this discussion, we looked at the findings of McKinsey International and The Economist magazine. In their research, which listed the quality of the teacher as the greatest contributor to parents' willingness to bring their children to your school and for you to retain those students and through them get a lot more students into your school. In part 3, we looked at another factor determined by McKinsey International and The Economist magazine to be very, very important to schools' ability to grow. And not just to grow, but also to have students who are achieving very highly and doing a lot for their world. And the factor we looked at in part 3 is the unique selling point. And we did a whole detailed discussion on that part 3 on how you can employ your unique selling points, not just to bring in students into your school, but also to retain them, and in addition to retaining them, have them leave your school highly spirited and ready to conquer their world. Today, we want to go into the part 4 of this discussion. And this part 4 is also coming from some of the findings of the research that we are basing our discussions on. But remember that much of what we are saying, as a matter of fact, all the meat, all the flesh we have added to what we are saying are not from McKinsey and Company, they are not from The Economist magazine, but just the key points are from them. The point we shall be looking at today is the role of parental participation in the growth and development of your school. What are the roles that parents must play for your school to grow and for your school to develop? My name remains Uchenna Ezugu, an educational consultant. Parental participation in school activities and school life is a very thorny issue. Very many school owners and school leaders will tell you that they don't want to touch it with a long rope. I had a chat with a good number of them, and what I heard most of the time was that if you give them the opportunity, they will take advantage of that opportunity and ruin your school for you. And I keep asking myself, if parents are key stakeholders and their children are involved, and as parents will always claim, we are working so hard, we are doing everything for the sake of our children, how could they at the same time play a role in the destruction of the very basis for having their children become the kind of adults they pray for their children to be? And so there is something that is somewhere that somebody does not well appreciate, which may be the reason why very many school owners and leaders see it as a negative action to take and clearly, deliberately stays away from getting parents involved in what they are doing. My discussion is going to be centered around the schools that I know that see this as a very valid point and that are deliberate about getting parents involved in what they are doing. So everything I'm going to tell you today will be coming from experiences, proven experiences of schools that have adopted this method. I know a school that claims to be a family school. The school stands on a tripod, and one of that tripod is parental participation in the education of their own children. So they clearly advertise it. It is their unique selling point. They boast about it, they brag about it, and a visit to the school proves to you beyond reasonable doubt that this is true. And then a closer observation, I got to understand that a single parent purchased and installed electronic boards in all their classrooms, and it cost that parent over 50 million naira. Another parent, when they were having issues with roof leakages, re-roofed the entire school complex. And these are just a few examples of what parents have done. And this involvement is traceable to just one thing, that the school, as a matter of deliberate policy, encourages parental participation. So, to start with, we're going to be looking at 12 reasons why every discerning school should allow parents to play active role in the running of their schools. And after that, we shall be looking at 16 ways to bring parents in, to engage parents, and to have them participate in the life of your school. And then we'll be looking at 3 barriers to parental participation in your school life. To begin with, we look at why you should allow them. Number one is that when parents are allowed to participate actively in the life of the schools of their children, they have a sense of belonging. They have a sense of ownership. They see the school as an extension of their family. And so, while they are thinking of comfort at home, they're also thinking of comfort, not just for their child in the school, but for all the children in their child's school. And so, this is proven that whenever a school deliberately cuts parents and brings them in to participate in what they are doing in an open manner, that parents take ownership of the school, parents make sacrifices for the school, and they surprise the school in a whole lot of ways. So at the end of the day, the school and the children, of course by extension the families, are the beneficiaries of this relationship, of this collaboration, and it is so very, very key and very, very interesting. Number two is that parental participation, as we are going to see when we start looking at the activities that are possible, brings about bonding. Today, it is no longer news that the phone, the social media, the internet has brought some form of separation even for people who are within the same family. And so you have a husband on his phone, wife on her phone, children on their phones or devices, and they are together in the same place, probably in the same sitting room, but each one is miles away from the rest. So one of the things that parental participation in school life brings is bonding. Parent to parent bonding, parent to school managers and leaders bonding, bonding between parents and teachers, bonding between families that have children in the same school, and serious bonding among the students of the school. As we look at the activities, you will see how this plays out. And one of the things that this does is that even after leaving the school, the relationship among parents, among students, between parents, students, and the school stays intact. And that is a very, very big and great advantage, if you ask me. Number three is that allowing parents to participate in your school activities builds lasting relationship with parents and with students and the school. Just like I have said, I know a school that if they have any activity, they invite parents of their former students. If they are doing fundraising, they invite parents of their former students. If they have projects requiring monies beyond their funding capacity, they invite parents of their former students. And one of those schools, just 3 Saturdays ago, had a project that was going to cost 55 million naira. The school is big, no doubt, and so your school may not be as big, and that means that you may have a project, but it may not cost as much as 55 million naira. But then this is what happened. They invited a former parent to come and share the fundraising, and when the principal finishes introducing the project and announcing how much it will cost to execute the project, which was 55,000 naira, the man who was invited, a former parent, satisfied with the school, and his son constantly visits the school. The son is out of the country but cannot come to Nigeria without visiting the school here in Lagos. And then the man says, this school has done a lot for me. It has created a special bond between me and my child. And whenever we discuss that school, the name of the school comes into that discussion one way or the other. And even when I speak with my son's friends, the same thing happens. And because of what this school has done for me and my family, we are going to transfer the total sum of 35 million naira completely. And they transfer the total sum. The other parents who were invited, parents of former students and existing students, also said, okay, articulate what else you need money for and let us know. But meanwhile, I'm giving 1 million, I'm giving 2 million for that expected project, I'm giving this amount, I'm giving that amount. And this is a product of clearly allowing parents to play active role in what you are doing. So yours may be bigger than this, and the kind of projects you might want to embark on might be far higher than this in terms of cost. But what is primary is that this is possible, and it is possible when parents have a sense of belonging, which comes from the role they played in your school while their children were in your school. If they were only coming to drop off and pick their children, and that is it, or invite them for inter-house sports, invite them for graduation, and that is it, you won't have this type of relationship with them. But as we are going to look at and as we are going to see, we'll show you some of these activities that you can embark on, which will help you to get to this point or even surpass this point where you are going to have so many fruits from this type of relationship. The number 4 reason why parental participation is key is that relationship enriches the knowledge and the information available to decision makers in the school. Your school may have someone in the Ministry of Education as a parent, but you may not know if you are not close to them. And even if you know and you are not close to them, you cannot get a help from them. But if you have need, because of this level of participation and bonding that it brings, you are able to just make a phone call, bros, or this or that, whatever you want to call the person, depending on how close you have become already. You tell the person offhandedly what you want, and you can be sure that problem will immediately be solved. Apart from that, a couple of kids come to school with baggages that are not usually very obvious. Some may have health issues that are not usually very obvious, and sometimes parents don't want to declare out of lack of trust. But what this does is that it creates trust between participation, creates trust between parents and the school. And so they give you every information that you need, even more information that you need, in order to be able to educate their children, in order to be able to help their children. So that is number 4. Number 5 is that it creates platform, which is a point I have already said indirectly. That relationship, that participation creates a veritable platform for fundraising activities of a school. There is hardly any school I know that can say that they have enough resources to take them to where they want to be. The world is constantly changing. Things are constantly changing. The same thing with the items you have in your classroom, they should constantly change. Your equipment for teaching should constantly change. There will always be need for fundraising, for expansion, for new things, and so on and so forth. If parents are happy with you because they constantly participate in your activities and they know where you stand on issues at every point in time, including reasonably your finances, reasonably underlined your finances. Whenever you need funds, if you call on parents and tell them why, and that why makes sense to them, they will not withhold their money from you. They will not. And very close to that is number 6. Parental participation creates a platform for you to have sponsorships, valid sponsorships, and collaborative opportunities. Everything does not stand and end with money. You might have all manner of sponsorship, you might have all manner of collaborative needs, collaboration with institutions, collaboration with government agencies, collaboration with your immediate community, collaboration with other areas of life. It could be sporting institutions, it could be media, the news media, for instance. If you have parents who are participating in your activities, they trust you, they understand you. If you need sponsorship, they will immediately arrange for you to have those sponsorships. If you need collaboration, they will immediately arrange for you to have those collaboration. Depending on the level of your school, depending on your environment, but every school, irrespective of their level and their environment, will always need sponsorships and collaborations. And the parents of the children in those schools will always be able to aid the school in getting those sponsorships and in getting the collaboration. Number 7 is that the participation opens the door for meaningful recognition and the reward of educators. Educators are doing the kind of job that no amount of money can pay for, yet they are usually under-rewarded. They are usually under-recognized. I know a school that a parent started a project which is annual teachers recognition. The parent started it, a lady, all by herself. Nobody advised her, nobody insinuated it, but she just saw it as a need to encourage educators. And then she formed a small team and they went to the school management. We want to be able to be involved in the recognition and the reward of our children teachers, and want to be doing this during your prize giving every year. And after an elaborate discussion, they arrive at what works and what may not work. And since that time till now, the parent is actively involved in that committee. That parent left that school about 4 years ago because it was a primary school. The child has moved on from primary school to secondary school. But that parent still consistently chairs that committee even as we speak. So members of the committee can change, but because of the enthusiasm she has for the school, for what the teachers were doing, and for the open door policy of the school, she continues to contribute financially. She continues to donate her time. She continues to run that committee. So this is one of the reasons why schools must deliberately cut parents and allow parents to participate in their activities. Number 8 is that it brings free, high quality career guidance for your students. Whether they are primary school students or secondary school students, career is something that children should be introduced to. And I know several primary schools that have career day or career week or whatever they call it, but career related. And so even from the age of 3, 4, 5, kids are already being introduced to understanding the fact that there is a life after primary school, there is a life after secondary school, there's an adult life, and people are engineers, people are doctors, people are teachers, people are masons, people are carpenters, and so on and so forth. And so what you do is that you have a pool of parents who are professionals, most likely. Even the traders among them, the businessmen and women among them, they are all professionals. And so you can easily call on any of them at any time to come and speak to a particular class, to come and speak to a particular year group, to come and speak to any group that is homogeneous in your school on career, on what the person is doing primarily. Not just one person coming to talk about all the careers in the whole world, no. But a medical doctor within your school comes to talk to the children about medicine. The engineers come to talk about engineering. Teachers come to talk about teaching. Business people about business. Traders about trading. Carpenters about carpentry, and so on and so forth. Fashion designing, haircuts, dance, and all manner of occupations that we have now. So this is very, very key, and you get it high quality and cheap. And even if you need a pilot to speak to your children and you don't have any, somebody in your school may have the contact that you need to get a pilot to come and speak with your students. And most of the time, these things come very, very free. And from my experience, when these people are coming, sometimes they ask you, how many children am I going to be speaking with? They know the age grade, they know the classes of these children. So they even come with things for the children. So you're not just going to have it for free, but it may even come at an extra cost to those parents. Number 9 is that parental participation leads to greater community impact. Greater community impact. I know a school that organized wellness talk for families that live within their vicinity. So they just advertise it. Whether a child is in our school or not, come to our school on a social Saturday. We have wellness activities for you. And what do? They do aerobics, tell you how to dress when you are coming. They do aerobics. They get all manner of health talks. They get health check. All these things for free. And they come at no cost to the school because there are parents in that school that have access or that can provide those services to the school. And so what this does is that your community is friendly with you. If they hear or say anything that will hurt your school, they will immediately fight your battle in your absence because they know that you impact them. It can even be to go and clean the streets or whatever community service that you are going to be interested in. But what a school should not do is not to have a community service. Number 10 is to increase students' academic performance. Participation starts from the families. How are parents involved in the academics activities of their children? How do they encourage their children to read? What is the environment at home like? Is it conducive for learning? Can you educate parents on how to make the home environment conducive for learning? Do the kids have home timetables? Who monitors the home timetable? Definitely not the school, not the teachers, but parents. So how involved are they? Without parents doing students' assignments for them, are they involved at all? Do they even as much as ask, do they have assignment today? Do they look at their kids' notes? Do they find out things? Do they encourage them? Do they teach them what they can teach them? And so on and so forth. So all these helps to improve students' academic achievement. At the end of the day, parents and the school will be happy if the kids are achieving very highly. Number 11 advantage, 11 reason why you should have this, is that it increases the school's ability to retain students. That is very clear. Parents who are actively involved in the education of their children don't change schools. They don't have any reason to change schools. As a matter of fact, I know parents who ordinarily would have jackpot by now, but they are not jackpotting. Why? Because they want their kids to finish from their current school before they move. They have access, they have the resources, they want to move, change environment, whatever it is, whatever reasons they have, but they have a reason that is so compelling that they don't want to go because of the school where their children are. And so they are staying back. So your school is able to retain students. And then finally, number 10, it gives you a better return on your investment. There is no doubt about it. Because many of the things you will put money in, and many of the things other schools are putting money in, you will get for free from parents of your school. We go to the second part, which is to say, how do we foster parental participation and collaboration in school? What are the activities? How can we achieve this? I'm going to provide you activities and points, but in no particular order. In other words, without saying that this one is more important than the other. So it is for you to pick which of them that you think works for you or can work for you, and then you pick as many as you can. You don't need to restrict yourself to 1 or 2 or 3. You can do all 16 if you have the capacity, okay? But primarily, pick from this or hone what you're already doing if you already have enough. Number 1 is through your official parents forums. Many schools have PTF or PTA, Parent Teachers Association, once in a session because they are afraid that parents will hijack their school if they have meetings often. By the time we finish, I believe that those fears will leave and you will start having more frequent meetings, and then you start having more benefits from the meetings. Parents forums should not be limited to open day and PTA meetings. For those that have PTA meetings, it shouldn't be limited. There should be several other opportunities for the school to engage with parents in a formal setting. One of the additions to PTA and open day, the one that parents come to meet the teachers of their wards, is to have a class teacher parents meeting. Let us use a primary school, for instance, with a generic name. We say you have a school, XYZ school has primary 1A and B, primary 2A and B, primary 3A and B, and so on and so forth. And then in that school, you have class teacher parents meeting, meaning that on a particular day every term, parents of students in primary 1A or JS1A, as the case may be, go for a meeting right inside the classroom of the class teacher of primary 1A or JS1A. The kids will not be around during the meeting, but that meeting will be geared towards discussing issues that affect learning in primary 1A or JS1A. behavior of students in primary 1A and just 1A. When I say issues that affect, I mean both positive and negative, not just negative, okay? No. And then progress report. This is our progress report in primary 1A or just 1A. And then parents will have the opportunity to have a detailed discussion in all this. And at the end of the day, those parents have a special bonding, not just with the class teacher of their child, but with that classroom where they had this meeting. One of the outcomes of this type of thing in a classroom that I know is that a parent said, this classroom looks austere. Can we put funds together and refurnish this classroom? They did put funds together. They did buy an AC for that classroom. They did put flowers where flowers should be. They changed the furniture in the classroom, made the classroom very, very comfortable, not minding that in less than 1 year, their kids leave that classroom for another classroom. But they did that simply because they know that this is our child's class and they are proud of the class and have that affinity to the class. So this is one of it. Another one could just have a feedback week for the school. And so the whole of that week or the whole of that day or 2 days, now you extend it because parents may not have time to come the same day. Parents who want to are given the opportunity to walk in and talk to the school management about anything and everything. What is working, what is not working, and these things are looked at with a view to getting things work. There will be several opportunities that each school, through their own creativity or whatever they have read up, can have. But formal meetings. Number 2 is through students' mentorship programs. Students, many schools, some schools that I know have a mentorship program where teachers mentor students. In other words, students are assigned to teachers as their mentors. So those students can go to the teacher who is assigned to them when they have problems and so on and so forth. But just imagine what will happen if selected parents are brought in to help in mentoring students. Just imagine what will happen. Selected parents, selected because due to the values the school uphold, you may not want every Dick and Harry to be part of it. Not saying that you have Dick and Harry as among parents, but you have parents who align more with your philosophy, with your spirit than some other parents. And so you get those who align more and then use them as mentors. And then that will be a very serious way for them to contribute their time, for them to contribute their talent. And sometimes this mentorship, for some good reasons, extend to this very parent mentoring the parents of this very student. Because, for instance, if the child has the capacity to study for 1 hour every day at home and the child studies for 30 minutes and this parent's own child studies for 1 hour, if he calls the parents to say, I'm your child's mentor, I'm Dr. So-and-so, Engineer So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, or Mrs. So-and-so, and I'm your child's mentor. In my chat with your child, I realize that he or she studies only 30 minutes. But my child in his own class or her own class studies for 1 hour. And to me, that is not enough. So what can we do to get your child to up his or her game a little bit? Just imagine what role that call will play coming from a parent and not a teacher. If a teacher makes that same call and a parent makes that same call and they introduce themselves and say exactly the same things, which one do you think will be taken more seriously? So the mentoring program that parents are involved is very, very important. Number 3 is just by deciding to run an open door policy. And not just by words, but by action. And what this means is that parents can walk into your school at any point in time and visit anybody and anywhere without any restriction. Yeah, I know that many people will say, no, this cannot happen in my school. Well, if you are doing the right things, the easiest way to prove to parents and to prove to the outside world that you are doing the right things is that they have unrestricted access to your school. They are not going to enter any classroom, but they can walk around and look at the classroom through the window without distracting the students who are learning. They can visit any office, they can meet any teacher, they can discuss anything with anybody, with the principal, without any prior appointment. Okay, so open door policy is one of the things that opens a lot of doors for schools that have the courage to engage in it. Number four is that it's allowing parents to volunteer and participate in the students' learning process. I know a school that allow parents in a structured way now, appointment by appointment, to come and teach students. You have a parent who is makes money by directing plays, and then your students are doing literature in English, and drama is part of literature in English. So once in a term, once in a session, you invite that to your parent who makes a living out of drama to come and teach your children things about drama that are curriculum based. The same thing with parents who are or who were mathematicians or who remain mathematicians because they are lecturers of mathematics, who says that they cannot come once in a while to enter an SS1 class, an SS2 class, an SS3 class to teach mathematics. In other words, doing this cements your relationship with these parents, encourages your children to learn more, makes your teachers to be more attentive to what you are doing, because they wouldn't want students to be asking questions of what the father should already know or the mother should already know before coming when he or she comes, and so on and so forth. So because of time, we're going to be fast in all these things. But remember, if you need me, you see my phone number and my email address, and you can consult me even for free advice. I'm free. I'm ready to help because my goal is to help schools to grow. Number five is to set up parent-teachers committees to plan all your events and your activities. And so you have inter-house sports. Don't just have an inter-house sports committee that's made up of staff. No. Let it be a mix of parents and staff, co-chaired by a parent and a staff, or even chaired by parents. You have graduation. Have a committee that is set up using parents and students. You have family fun day, a combined committee. All the activities you have in your school, inter-house sports, a combined committee. All the activities in your school, whatever you call it. What this does for you is that you get greater buy-in of parents. Attendance of parents will be more because those parents will be the one reaching out to the other parents. And fundraising for these activities is a given, that the money will come in easily to help you. You will budget for the activities, sure, but your budget will not cover more than 20 to 30% of the total sum that will be required for those activities. And so if you do this, you can be sure that you will get the remaining 80 to 70% of the funds from parents of your school, or parents of your school will source the money from outside without your involvement. But if you want to say it is our own and we don't want them to come and disturb us, well, you have to bear all the costs by yourself. So number five, having joint committees for all activities, extracurricular and co-curricular activities, is very, very important. Number six is to organize what you may call Parent Week. Within this week, you can have health talks, you have health checks, you can have sports and wellness activities, you can have talks on financial management, you can have talks or workshops on retirement, you can have so many things. Any school that walks into any fund managers and ask them to come and talk to parents on retirement, on funds management, on investment management, or even investing, can be sure that those big names will come, the big banks will come, no matter who they are, even if they are coming to talk to 5 people only, and they are coming at no cost to you at all. Okay, so Parent Week is just a week that you have set aside to give back to parents. But then it will not cost you much because parents will be the one organizing it and carrying it out. Of course, if you have your own contacts, you can use. But if you don't have your own private contacts, parents will do it for you. Of course, it will be nice for you once a while to provide them snacks or even feed them on the grand finale of your Parents Week. And that will be very, very interesting. It's one of the ways that you can work with parents. Number 7 is organize family fun days or family fun nights, as the case may be. Just a day that families come for family activities. So you want to have cultural dance, family cultural dance. Mothers can have a separate cultural dance. Fathers a separate cultural dance. Children a separate cultural dance. People will come with all manner of food. You're not going to feed anybody. They will come with their cultural food. It's a fun day. Or even continental food, intercontinental food, whatever you call it, they can come with it. And each person will come with something much bigger than what his family can consume. And everybody, the food will be just spread everywhere for everybody to eat. If you want to provide the feeding, there's no problem. But what is important is that all the activities for that day should be organized around families and not students coming to make presentations on the fun day. And it should really be a fun day. Number 8 is organize a cultural festival. Cultural festival, okay, can be more dedicated to cultural food, cultural music, cultural dances, cultural arts, cultural crafts, and so on and so forth. You can have competitions on that day, but it will also involve students, their parents, and for all these activities, you invite your former parents. Because remember, they are your key partners. Your former parents, their kids are no more there. Some of them are looking for opportunities to relax, to have fun. So you are inviting them, create that recreational activity that they have been urging for, looking for, that they don't have. And you can be sure that they will contribute one way or the other. They will not come and eat and go and say bye. Okay, number 9 is to organize periodic exhibition of your students' work. It could be your students' work on arts, it could be on craft, it could be on STEM, science, engineering, technology, mathematics, whatever it is. But organizing an exhibition at least once a year for parents to come and see the work of their children is just so very, very important. And you can have some this term, first term, some second term, some third term. So first term may be art exhibition, second term may be exhibition around STEM, third term may be exhibition around any other thing. But to have exhibition for parents to come and see the work of their children is very, very important. Number 10 is to organize literary day. A day for debates, for quiz, for poetic renditions, for drama, just for parents to come in, watch their children perform, and relax. Very, very important. You want to provide entertainment, you have to provide refreshment. Can I assure you that parents will raise those things by themselves? Number 11 is to organize periodic workshop and seminars for parents. Parenting is changing almost every day. And so parenting styles and tactics need also to change. So schools can organize parenting activities, parenting workshops and seminars. It could discuss such things as use of the internet, use of devices, child wellness, chastity, integrity among children, inculcating integrity among children, and so on and so forth. The list is endless, but schools should be able to organize this for parents of their children. All these things will bring them to your school and get them hooked to your school. Number 12 is to assign projects to select committees as the need arises. Your school may need solar energy because power is erratic. Public power is erratic, you need solar energy. Set up a committee depending on your current relationship with parents of your student. I know a school that the parents of the school came together and installed solar that has the capacity to supply fan in all the classrooms 24 hours, light in all the classrooms 24 hours. So the classroom is convenient for their kids. The environment is very, very convenient for their kids to learn. And all the electronic devices and resources that teachers use in class are used freely without any interruption. So it's not as if we cannot use our projector because there is no light. We cannot do this one because there is no light. We cannot go online because there is no light. So it stabilizes everything. And all the other projects that you may have, but you should know how far you have gone with engaging with your parents before these projects assignments can be very, very successful. Number 10 is to organize father and sons programs or mother and daughters programs. Programs limited to fathers and their sons, and programs limited to mothers and their daughters. This could be daughters and sons in your school, but it should involve all their other daughters and all their other sons. If you watch, I'm not saying family program, no. Father and their sons only, separate on a different day from mothers and their daughters only. Because there are roles that fathers play in the families and in the societies that are not primarily meant for mothers. And most fathers don't even understand it. So this fun outing will include talks, it will include sports, it will include, again, aerobics, wellness activities, and whatever it is that you want to include. It will include eating and drinking. But basically, it is for fathers and their sons to come and bond in a very special way, or mothers and their daughters to come and bond in a very special way, have fun, enjoy themselves, and ignite some sparks that could last forever in their relationship as fathers and as mothers. Number 14 is to organize family field trips. Take your children. We live in Lagos. You can take the families in your school, depending on their numbers, or you do the trip in stages to Olumo Rock. There are wonderful hotels in that area in Ogun State where your families can stay, or to any beautiful place around you, depending on where your school is located and depending on the capacity of the parents of your students. But there is no school that does not have anywhere they can take their children to. It could just be to a fun park where you pay 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira, depending on the nature of the fun park, where kids can have fun while their children sit back as families and watch. This is very, very important. And then number 15 is to organize community service programs involving parents of your school. This is very, very important. Your community needs to feel your impact. This will help you with enrollment. It will help you with retention. To help the community to protect your school at all costs. What activities can parents of your school come together to do for their street, for the streets within your place of influence? It could be cleaning the streets. It could be that. It could be doing a charity visit to any special homes around the school, or even outside the school, really. Homes for the elderly, homes for children who are suffering from all manner of disabilities. It could be creating public awareness on a couple of things, which might just be giving a talk on internet use for children, for families that live near your school, as I've tried to explain before. And finally, number 16, you organize parents-students competition. Parents-students competition. So parents come to school for the competition. You throw up a quiz, a debate topic. Parents will speak for or against, and students will pick the other side. And then they come and compete. And then there are judges, and then people will laugh, people will have fun, people will enjoy themselves. Quiz can be quiz on current affairs. Who is the president of Iraq? Who is who founded Google? And so on and so forth. So they come, you have parents versus students in a quiz. And then you have judges who can be reputable people in society. And then a whole lot of things. It can be indoor games. You have parents versus students playing chess, playing Scrabble, and then you know who the winner might be, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are some of the activities that you can embark on. But you have to have the will to do it. And if you do it well, I can assure you that all the benefits I listed earlier, you will reap them and you'll be so happy that you tried. What are the barriers that prevent schools from allowing parents to come close or to know what they are doing, or even to help them out in any way, in any form? Barrier number 1 is that schools fear that parental involvement might lead to either all or some parents insisting on policy change or policy changes. They might say, you are doing this, stop doing it, come and do this one, and so on and so forth. This is real, it is possible. But then, if your school is a school and your policy is yours, your vision and your mission is yours, and they come with such suggestions, point to them how their suggestion differs from your vision and your mission. You will always have good reasons to say no if you have to say no. And if you have to say yes, be proud enough to say yes and advertise that yes. Say that we changed from this to that because parents of our children, of our students ask for it. Very, very important. Number 2 is the fear of parents hijacking the running of your schools. Principal, vice principals, head of school, teachers, Everybody's afraid that if you allow them, they will come and hijack, they will be dictating to us. No. Parents will not hijack. Parents will not dictate, so long as you know what you are doing. But what you cannot do is to keep them away because of this fear. So what you should do is to say, how do we walk around our fears that they now become an advantage for us instead of being an issue? Number 3 is increased expenses. Some people think that anytime you invite parents to your school, you have to be the one to feed them. You have to be the one to do this. You have to be the one to do that. Hire chairs, and so on and so forth. As I've tried to explain already, this is not real, and it is real for you if you make that your reality. If not, most of the expenses will come from parents themselves. And one last addition is that some people think that they will lose control of their finances if they are a bit transparent to parents on their expenses. I don't see that happening. I'm not saying go and discuss your budget with parents. I'm not saying show parents how you are spending your money. I'm not saying this and that and that. But what I'm saying is that parents are expected to be reasonable, but because you know what you are doing, because they trust you, they will believe you when you say we don't have money for XYZ. Help us raise the money for XYZ. They will believe you, especially because you are consistently transparent. Just in case you have not done so, like this channel, subscribe to this channel, share this channel, talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues, professional colleagues about us, and encourage them to like, subscribe, and share our channel. And if you need us, please let us know. We'll be very much around to help you in any way we can. Thank you. Thank you once again.